Why, good evening, Cakeistas, and welcome to another chilling episode of Cake and Tales. It is a chilly October evening. I have loads of cakes to decorate and a scary story to tell. I have my mug filled with some type of mango, sugar-free deliciousness. So I will be decorating these cupcakes. I have like 6 dozen. And I'm going to tell you guys a story at the same time. This story takes place a few years ago when I went to a private culinary arts school in Philadelphia. I was staying on campus. I had like a very good small group of friends, right? And we would go everywhere together. Like, that's what you do when you're living on campus. One of our friends in our friend group lived off campus. He lived in an apartment complex in West Philly. Now, this apartment complex I've seen my entire life. I lived in West Philly as a kid, and we will always drive by this apartment complex. All I know is that it looked creepy. It always looked creepy. It looked like a lot of the other buildings looked like it needed to be knocked down. But this one in particular, I would just kind of look at it when we drove past. It just had weird vibes. It was very ironic when I found out that my close friend lived in this apartment complex. Just while we were in school. He didn't he wasn't from there or anything, but he moved there to have his own apartment. So anyway, my friends and I, we would go over to his apartment all the time because it was like a little bit of freedom. It was really great. We would all hang out, we'd watch movies. In that apartment lived this wonderful older lady who went by Mama. And Mama really was like our mom. Like, she was like everyone's mom away from home. She didn't have any kids around. It was just her living in her studio apartment. And they looked out for each other. Oh, I forgot the piping tip. I'm gonna just do it without a piping tip. Do the best I can. Mama often would cook us dinner because we were all broke. We were all broke culinary students. We would make all this fabulous food in the daytime, and by the nighttime couldn't afford a hot meal. It was crazy. Like, that was a real thing. If you didn't have a lot of money to pay $20 a night for food to eat on campus, you had to just figure it out. They talk about when you go away to college, you gain 15. No, we all lost 15. Are you kidding? This particular evening, Mama was like, I'm gonna cook my babies dinner. I was like, what? Mama's gonna cook us dinner? She called us her babies, right? That's how sweet. And me and my brother from another, we were like, here we come, So we went over to our friend's house. Oh, these look so good. Oh my goodness. I got that from Keith Sweat. Oreo and strawberry crunch cupcakes. Seriously, how'd I lose that? Let me just tell you guys about this building. It was just as eerie as I had always imagined it to be. Just quiet the moment that you walk in. It had those eerie fluorescent lights. The lights that would flicker. I mean, it really looked like something out of a horror movie, to be honest with you. The hallways just had a very eerie feeling about them. They were the type of hallways that the moment that you stepped in, you wanted to step back out. Like, you just wanted to get to wherever it is that you were going as soon as you could get there. Every time we walked through those hallways, we would kind of just rush. This was an October night. I noticed every single year, probably for the past 10 years, that the last week of October is the oddest week for me for some reason. The craziest things happen, you guys. I mean, every year, to the point that when November 1st comes, I'm relieved because I'm like, finally, all this weird stuff could stop happening. That's when I'm hearing weird things, maybe footsteps, maybe seeing things or having crazy dreams, or my bed would shake. Yeah, I have some stories to tell. So this was the last week of October. Felt creepier than normal. And that's saying a lot. So imagine how creepy that is, okay? Because it's already creepy in there. My brother and I made it to our friend's apartment. We sat in there for a while and we all talked. And then we were like, okay, Mama's ready for us to come over. He was on the right side and she was kind of in the center and kind of on the left. It took a couple of minutes to get over to her side of the apartment. It was like we had to go down a couple flight of stairs and then walk down. On the way over to her apartment, I think we kind of peeked down the hallway a little bit. We didn't see not one single person walking the halls. We didn't hear anything. We just kind of ignored the feeling. The three of us just walked and talked as normal. And then we got to Mama's house, so happy to see her. So we said, Mama, what are we having for dinner? She said, I'm making y'all some fried chicken and fried bologna. We were like, yeah, okay. You know, beggars can't be choosy. So we were happy about this little fried bologna and fried chicken wingettes, okay? We all were in her little teeny kitchen with her. We were like watching her little teeny, literally her TV in her kitchen was like just a little old school, like, and we were all crowding around her and we just talked and laughed, and Mama was just like, I mean, you guys, we were all so close that she wanted to go to all of our graduations. My caramel apple upside down cake is done. Hold on. So we loved watching Mama cook. In the midst of us talking, having a good old conversation, Mama says, oh man, I forgot we don't have nothing to drink. I forgot the Kool-Aid. We were like, oh no, Mama. Mind you, I don't even drink Kool-Aid, okay? Our friend was like, oh, well, you know, I have some. He always has some Kool-Aid. Always had a pitcher. We said, okay, well, that's fine. We'll go over there and we'll just grab the pitcher of Kool-Aid. We'll be right back. So me and my brother from another, we took his keys. Then we started to make our way over to the apartment, to where we both noted to each other, like, it feels really weird out here. Is it just me? And then, no, it's not just you. Okay. So we made our way over to the apartment, went inside, grabbed the Kool-Aid. It took like no more than 3 minutes. We came out of the apartment, and right across from the apartment, there was a circuit breaker, right? The little metal door on the wall. We noticed that it was wide open, and neither one of us had touched it, and it was closed when we walked up. If it wasn't closed, we would have literally had to step aside, or we would have hit our heads on it. So we both looked at each other. It just didn't make any sense. Mind you, I was standing at the door the whole time. I didn't hear anybody walk past, and I didn't see anybody walk past, so it was just really creepy, because if someone would have walked past, I would have seen their shadow under the door, and I would have heard it, because the doors weren't great. But whatever, that was weird. So we said, let's just rush back over there and act like that didn't happen. So that's what we did. So we made our way back to Mama's apartment, and the fried chicken was just about ready. So we each got 3 little wingette pieces, and it was really good. She gave us our delicious 2 slices of fried bologna. We were still very hungry, but we ate it and we loved it. She decided that she needed something else from our friend's apartment. I really can't remember what. It was Jay's apartment. We said, Jay, do you want to go back and grab that? And he was like, no, I'm fine. I'll just wait here with Mama. So we were like, okay, great. We'll go again. So my brother and I walked back. Everything was normal. Everything was fine. Still creepy, but whatever. Took no more than 2 minutes to grab whatever it was. As soon as we opened up the door, we both froze. Across from the door is that circuit breaker. Beside the circuit breaker door is a trash bin door. It's where everybody would take all their bags of trash, and I guess it had like a chute that landed downstairs into the dumpsters, okay? I had never seen inside of this room. We've never actually opened up the door, anything like that. I've never seen it open. It's always been closed. As soon as we opened the door, the whole hallway from the door that we just came out of all the way probably like 4 feet down was filled with trash. Trash, like scattered all throughout the hallway. We were only in the apartment for 2 minutes. It was like impossible for anybody to have done that. It made no sense. Once again, no one walked by. The door was wide open, so it's almost like somebody from the inside of that door threw a full trash bag. It busted open, and it would have had to magically just spread out within like a 4-foot radius. We looked at each other and we looked at the trash, and we both knew that there was no way that anything that could have like just, and why? We just ran to Mama's apartment. We tell Jay, you have to look at this hallway. This hallway is a hot mess. We don't know what happened. The door is wide open. I was afraid to even look. I didn't even look in the door. I just ran past it. Come look at this mess. This is crazy. It's right outside of your door. So he said, okay, all right, let's go. So we all, the three of us, walked back up to his apartment. Look around. You know, before we hit the hallway, we were like looking and checking. As soon as we go and turn to the hallway that his apartment is in, it was gone. It was like nothing there. It was like it never happened. It just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. I mean, it would have taken a team to magically appear as soon as we left that hallway, gather their friends and family, clean up the hallway, and then decide that they were done and then dip off in a matter of 5 minutes. And there was so much trash out there, it would have taken at least 15 to clean it all up. I mean, it didn't smell. It was just like it never happened. The door was closed. He was like, okay, why is it perfectly clean? We're trying to explain to him, it wasn't like that. We're not making this up. Like, why would we have you come check it out, come all the way up here just to be like, sorry, it's a clean hallway. Like, that just didn't make any sense. I don't know what y'all are talking about, but if that's the case, then that's really creepy. So he went to his apartment. We stood there, and then we were like, well, I'm not gonna stay out here by myself. So we went to his apartment. We sat in there, seriously afraid to leave the apartment. And that's what was funny about that place, was that the hallways felt creepy, but the apartments didn't feel bad. It was weird. It was like whatever was there was just in the hallway. When you walked out the hallways, you felt like you were being watched or followed, even. Because your senses are real, you know? You can sense someone behind you, but you don't see anyone. And it's just crazy. Let's go to Mama's apartment, and we're gonna bid her good evening. Thank you so much for everything, and we're gonna get up out of here because this is too much. We left Jay's apartment for the last time that night, and we made our way to Mama's apartment. Remember I mentioned that we had to walk down 2 flights of stairs. So Jay was in front of me, I was in the middle, my brother from another was behind me. We are walking down the stairs, almost like we planned it, almost like we said, let's walk a little faster. We walked a little bit faster. It's like we all suddenly felt this urge of like, we had to walk with haste. I was trying not to give in to the urge because, you know, whatever, I'm gonna get there when I get there. I can't deny that there was a very weird feeling. So then all of a sudden, my brother from another kind of speeds past me. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? He was like, I don't know, baby, but I got to go. Naturally, when you start running, I'm gonna kind of start running too. I'm like, well, hold on. I'm not about to be in the back. That's one thing that's not gonna happen. If we're in a haunted house or something, like a Halloween thing, I'm gonna be in the center. I'm not gonna be in the front. I'm not gonna be in the back. I sped up enough just to keep up, because I wasn't trying to let whatever it was kind of mess with me for real. I had this sudden urge to look up the stairwell that we just walked down. I heard 3 footsteps. Yep, I'm a very, very sensitive person. I can feel things. Since I was a little girl, I could always tell when something was off in the house. And the way that I would explain it is that I would say my blood felt thick. That's the only way that I could explain it. That's what I've been saying since I was about 6 years old. My blood feels thick when I walk in there. That's how I felt at that moment. I felt like I could almost see in my mind's eye something walking several steps behind us. And I hope that you guys know what I mean when I say that. It's almost like you can envision it clearly, but it's not actually there. And yeah, then I rushed. I ran down the steps at that point. And now they're looking at me like I'm crazy. And I didn't want to tell them until we got out that stairway. So as soon as we left that hallway, I was like, I didn't want to really like scare you while we were on there, but I heard footsteps behind you. He's like, oh my gosh, I felt that. I felt like someone was behind me, and I felt like I needed to get out of there. Mama, the bologna was good, girl, but we gotta go. Something was just messing with us just because it was bored that night. You know how like when things are creepy, you're already on edge, and like whatever happens, you're like, what was that? What was that? What was that? You know, we have been in this apartment many, many, many times. And this one night was just super, super weird. We didn't see not one person in the hallway. We didn't hear anybody else in the hallway. we said, all right, we're gonna go. It's getting late. We have class in the morning at 7:30. So we thanked her, gave her a hug, and we bid her goodnight. It felt so good to get outside. Saying that is saying a lot. Nothing that creepy ever happened again there, and we went back there plenty of times. I forgot to mention, you guys, that a couple of years ago, that building mysteriously burnt down, and they could not find the source of the fire. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you like these kind of scary stories. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, Cake Mistas.